action.
Actually, yeah. Had another one of my famous starts I wanted to go through.
So tired.
Yeah, I would I would like to explain my current status as a symbol of fatherhood, and specifically, I am wearing this dress shirt because my baby had fallen asleep, and all my other shirts post shower were inside where the baby was sleeping. So this was the only thing available. I'm clearly overdressed for this podcast. Secondly, is this delicious coffee. Baby additionally is still sleeping too lightly for the coffee machine and its noises. And there
Oh,
was and there was no way I was not going to have coffee. So instead, I prepared it and then brought it with me into the bathroom and had it brew in the bathroom while I was showering to ensure that I would have coffee because this is liquid sanity that I was not going to go without.
Make a
That
nice coffee sound with the white noise of a shower.
this
the
is
sho-
like your
Actually, very clever.
this is like your parents going out and like hiding a smoke, right? Like they just need to like get their fix and they need to do this technique to hide it from you. You just
Yeah.
brewed a coffee in your bathroom.
yeah, just like it's like you can't brew there. The baby's going to wake up. Fine. The coffee maker's coming with me in the shower. Coffee's happening. Let me tell you. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about, and if that doesn't represent fatherhood, I'm not sure what does. A show about gaming, fatherhood, and new fathers trying to figure out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a barely sleeping 6-month-old.
My name's Gavin. I have an almost 4-month-old.
I'm Jeff. I have a 2.5 and a 5-year-old. Probably five and a
They haven't
half
changed
by
it for a
now,
little while, are they?
maybe. I don't know.
So there's two of them. I can't.
There's two. I've lost count.
I wake up every morning. Two are eating breakfast, so I go with them. We get next week is like I have four now.
Yeah. What age are you? I'm so tired.
I just watched an episode of the Jim Gaffigan show. He's a comedian who has like 5 kids,
Yeah.
and the show's just kind of about his life of having 5 kids in a 2-bedroom New York apartment while also maintaining a career as a comedian. It's pretty funny.
Like I think
He
that
does some good stuff.
is it a autobiographical or is it like a straight up comedy? Because I know he did
It's a
live that
comedy.
life from what I've understood.
Oh yeah, no, they I guess they do live in a really small apartment with a whole like mini herd of children, and yeah, it's yeah. The first episode I saw was all about him and his wife kind of playing this sort of poker game about will he or will he not get a vasectomy, and will he be man enough to follow through with the threat of a vasectomy or something. I don't know. That was after they had you know, what they thought was their 6th pregnancy,
Oh
but was
my
just a false alarm.
god.
Wow,
Yeah.
6. Well, that's getting to the point where like the oldest one can now take care of the smallest one.
That's
So
the trick.
the your burden is much lessened, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
Jebediah, take care of the small one. Mommy and Daddy are
Jeez.
sleeping.
Still.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
It's
too
those are
bad.
the numbers that you would have when it's like, well, we had a farm to run, so
These cows aren't going to milk themselves.
battle in numbers here, and you know.
So Gavin, how was your week in fatherhood and gaming?
Good. Fatherhood was a bit of an adventure. We had a trip to my hometown to show the baby off to some extended family, and that was a lot of fun. It was
Did the
also
the theme from Lion King play during?
a little bit, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Just like, yeah, I've seen the movie a lot. I'll probably see it even more. Um, yeah, I realized this was my first time really traveling as a dad, or just like her, like my wife and I as parents, and just how much stuff this little person needs.
Yep.
And it's pretty wow. It's like wow. Um, and yeah, uh, but we were pretty happy with how it all went, and traveling went well, and she was a trooper through it all. Got to visit my friends who just had twins like last month,
Oh,
and
feel so bad
I
for
was like, we're okay, we're doing all right, we're okay. We only have to deal with one of these little humans screaming at us, so it's okay. Their kids were really cute though, and they wanted to have two, so they just did it. And it's like just do it with one shot done.
Yeah,
They
see,
got a boy and a girl too, so they got like the complete set.
I think that's good though, because I think it's so you do your 8 month or your 1 year of absolute misery, and you're
Yeah.
out. Like it probably is. Would you call it double the misery, or it's
I
like
would
one
think
and a
it'd be
half?
so brutal. It would be like you'd have to synchronize their poop cycles. Like, what happens if like one poops and then you like change the other and then the other one poops? You're just going back and forth. One's feeding, one's not.
Yeah.
Ugh, no, not for me.
Just imagining the two
No, God, no.
babies overlapping.
You see, like man, just the dread that has come over Jeff's face as
Yeah.
he's speaking. It's like
Just as
you're
white
in the
as his
moment.
shirt, like just the, you can't even see where his shirt ends and his face begins.
So Gavin, in leaving, like when you were leaving and you're packing up your kid, and I'm completely with you. It is absurd how much stuff it takes to pack up a baby, someone so small and
Yeah.
feeble. Like, did you kind of before you ever did it, did you have it in your head that you know what, we're not going to pack that much? I know parents talk about it, but we'll be reasonable. Or did you kind of assume? Did you have no assumptions? Did you have an assumption that you would be better, or did you assume you would just be packing like nuts?
No, because like when we were thinking about it, it's like, well, she's got to sleep in something, and like we have a travel bassinet that she sleeps in like all the time, just because it's the bassinet that fits well in our apartment, and it allows us to have her sleeping next to the bed without like a full crib in a single bedroom, which just wouldn't work with our bedroom set. But what's great is that like we were pretty smart in what items we got. Like a lot of the things we got like really just transform in onto themselves and use like singularity science to make themselves smaller somehow. I don't know. We had those tablets that you put in water. They're like the size of an antacid, and you run it underwater, and it turns into a wet wipe. So you don't have to bring like a whole thing of wipes. You just bring like a tube of these like tablets, and
I
you
was kind of
put them.
off on a fantastical journey. I thought you were gonna say it turns into a bed,
Yeah,
or it turns into like clothing. I'm like, whoa, where have you found
army survival or something, or
Jets?
Yeah,
Is
yeah. We had these
I don't
pillows, and you plant them in the ground. They turn into a one-bedroom apartment.
know.
No, I yeah, like I thought maybe I'm like, I think we'd still be okay, but it's like because we're being smart, we're buying things that are really compact and they fold in and stuff, and at the end of the day, it's like, no, this is still a pack mule trying to load and unload the car in one trip. I look like a Sherpa, like I just got stuff piled on piles on piles. And on top of that, we had the dog with us as well, and like he doesn't have much stuff, but it's a dog on a leash running around your ankles while you're trying to balance things on your head. So
You ever
yeah,
play
it
the
was.
Tetris theme song in your mind when you're trying to stuff the
Oh,
car?
every time I'm loading the trunk, all I hear in the back, I'm like, dun, 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 dun. Just like trying to jam things in. That's exactly how it plays out.
trained my
Um,
whole life for this.
yeah, it's like I'm ready. My
Yeah,
body's
because I
ready.
would. Yeah, I don't know. I think I just had this assumption where I'd seen like with my brother with kids and friends with kids and seeing how they pack. There's just like that seems a little much. I think it's over
Yeah, yeah,
prepared. I'm gonna keep it lean and clean. And then like
yeah.
we packed them up for the first time, and it's just like, oh God, I'm right. I'm just as bad as anything I've ever seen.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. Like, why do we need all these things, baby?
Yeah, and the thing is too is that when we got to our hometown, we had a lot of really like generous family giving us wonderful things, which I then had to try to find room in the car for to bring back with us. So it's like we got this really nice big blanket that she can play on. It's really fun, but it was a big blanket. So I'm literally just I have like the snow brush and I'm tamping it into the trunk to try to get it in. And it all fit at the end. And it was like, luckily, it was things like blankets and soft stuff that you can't break. It's not like, here's a Fabergé egg for her. It's like, yeah, no, it's like all pretty decent, easy to pack stuff. But
Yeah, your car
yeah,
is just like scraping along the highway in the back, sparks flying.
uh,
Hey, Jeff, have you found that like as your kids have aged, it gets better, like the amount of packing, or it gets worse?
Um, it gets better.
Yes,
Definitely gets
something
better
something gets better. Something
because
gets better.
you won't lose the big items though. So you won't lose like a pack and play. right? You need somewhere for them to sleep. So you have the big items, but it does get better. So you don't have to bring, like when they're off bottles, obviously you don't have to bring all that stuff. And
like a
they're,
cooler with milk in it.
yeah, yeah. And they're like big hunky toys. Like they're now
Yeah.
good with smaller stuff. So it does get better, but then you have a second one.
So it gets
So,
better. And then you have twins, right, Jeff?
well, God.
It gets better, and then you just go
Plus,
and hit that reset button.
yeah.
And then it gets worse. So much worse.
Well, our second too, just quickly, um, would cry in the car like the entire time, and we found out later it was like a stomach acid issue. So we
Oh,
dealt with that for a good 3 months of crying, not knowing what it was, if it was diet or if it was something else, or if he was uncomfortable or he pooped or whatever. So crying baby in a car ride for an hour was
oh,
trying.
yeah, we were pretty lucky. Like the car ride went, knock on wood, it went well. But there's been times where she's been crying in the car, and I'm just like, eyes on the road, eyes on the road, eyes on the road.
Yeah.
And yeah, but no, the trip went really well. Fatherhood this week was really, it was great to show her off and uh, have her meet a lot of the family and have the family meet her. Like that was great. And as far as gaming goes, uh, yesterday I picked up a copy of Just Cause 3, and I'm
Pulled the
enjoying it.
trigger. I was wondering if you'd pull the trigger, given your Fallout 4 adventure currently.
Obsession. Adventure.
Obsession.
Obsession.
Yeah.
Mine sounds a little
No,
nicer, but obsession.
no, it was an obsession. No, I picked it up because I thought, I might as well have something to jump back and forth because, uh, I'm in it for I'm committed to Fallout 4, and I just want to make sure that we have some alone time, so that way the relationship is strong.
Hold
So
on.
that's why
No, no, no. Let's let's need that out a little. Let's tease that out a little bit. So, in order to have a good relationship, you need a little something on the side to keep the other one interesting. Is that what I'm? Is that what you just said? I want to be clear.
that is most certainly not what I just said.
Jeff,
Oh.
No,
survey says no.
no. Just Cause is a game that, like, the second one I played so much, and it's a series that I almost have as much appreciation for as Fallout. Almost, not quite as much. Um, and yeah, everything looks like it blows up very nicely, and it does, and it's really fun, and it's got all the weird physics bugs that the other one had, but I kind of love it for it. Like they'll be on a wingsuit going like 70 miles an hour, and you'll just face plant on the highway, and just you get up and brush it off, and you're fine. Just walk it off.
It's kind of what's good
Yeah.
about a game that's like so extreme like that is that it's not trying since it's not taking itself so seriously. When a bug like that happens, it's like it's part of the fun. Whereas when you're in a
Yeah.
game that is so heavy and serious, and then the guy starts to glitch out and like float away into the sky, like it totally rips you out of it. Whereas in
Yeah.
this world, it's all part of the fun.
You see an explosion send like a bad guy flailing off over the horizon in this game, and you're like, that was awesome. If you saw it happen in Grand Theft Auto, you'd be like, oh, that's not really plausible, and it depends on how heavy of an anchor it has in reality. And Just Cause has absolutely no anchor in reality. There are some things about it that they've removed from the previous one that I wish they kept, like there's no sprint button,
That's
which
weird.
is it's weird because it's like I can press in the left thumbstick and it does nothing.
Huh.
Why am I not sprinting? You could have made me sprint. Everybody's shooting at me. Let me run away.
He's angry. He's whispering.
Yeah. So yeah, in the second one there was like you could do this cool like dodge wheel thing to like get out of the way of gunfire because everybody in the game, like all the enemies shoot at you at once. So in the previous installment, I was like running and diving and then shooting and then zipping up onto the rooftop and then jumping and parachuting like just all over the map. And in this one, I feel like because I can't run or dive, it hinders my movement a bit, and I've been dying a lot because of it. I'm like, why don't I have the thing you used to let me do? Like I could do all these other cool things, that's great, but the actual getting out of the way component isn't there. So that I think that's my one main complaint in it is just there's this for some like myself, I come from playing so much of Just Cause 2 that the controls were so familiar and I was really good at the game at that point. And to leave that game and go to its sequel and feel like a total noob, I'm like, wait a second, I was really good on your previous game. I'm your primary customer. Like, I'm your candidate. Like, I saw the Matrix in your last installment. Why don't I get this? Why am I dying? I should be just rocking this. So yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I could see that. I think like if I'd played Batman Origins and having coming off of Arkham City, like if they changed the fight mechanism, you don't have that familiarity. Curious thing about the series, yeah, I suppose if they done gone and changed all the moves on you, like you've lost that mastery, which is kind of that's quite a letdown actually if you
It's
think about it.
dangerous, yeah.
It's tough. Like, I think I'll get my head around it eventually, like, but it does have quite a shock to the system. Like, something that should feel like when I started playing Fallout 4, like it felt like this familiar old leather jacket that I've worn, and I know every little nook and cranny. It just feels right. It feels familiar. It's you know, there's nothing about it. Like there's all this new stuff to it, but the old standbys are still there. The old control scheme, the old button mapping, all that stuff is still there. Where now I feel like there's just certain the feel aspect of this one is slightly different, and it's kind of throwing me for a loop. And I guess yeah, that's something that I don't see very often in games where, like even Borderlands 1 and 2, like the feel of those games were identical. There was a lot more stuff in the second one, a lot more nuances and things to do, but the core like running and jumping and shooting and stuff, it felt familiar. Um, so yeah, like I think games do need to take chances once in a while and switch things up. From Just Cause 1 to Just Cause 2, an entirely different game in feel and look. And I felt like in Just Cause 2 they really got it right. But then they scrapped some of those things that I really liked for the third one that I'm not sure if it was a good choice, but they might win me
Hmm.
over. Like I'm
Hmm.
only a little bit into the game.
Yeah, and that kind of goes along to something we discussed before. We're getting into a new game, especially given our now dad limited hours that we can possibly spend into it, is a bit of a jump, like a leap of faith. I only have so much time. Do I want to bother learning all these mechanics? So it's a smaller jump when it's a game and a series that you know because I'll simply just get back into the groove that I'd already been into. But now if they've gone and changed all those things, it kind of ruins that advantage. It's curious.
Yeah.
So the Jeff yourself, how was your week in fatherhood and gaming?
I went to a kid's birthday party on the weekend.
Oh boy.
Oh
Ooh,
my
sounds fun.
God. They're always great. Lots of energy. And everybody, you remember when you were a kid, you'd always have birthday parties in, that person's house. So everybody would gather in the house, right? You'd more than likely, run out in the backyard, you do something, you come in for cake, whatever. No one does that anymore. So they
Oh.
go off-site to like an indoor playground, or this weekend it was a trampoline place,
Hmm.
and like the whole ground is trampolines. I don't know if you've been to them, but you
Oh,
will.
I've actually always wanted to go to that place. It looks like a lot of fun.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing inside,
Yeah,
but of course it's for the kids, whatever.
yeah.
Wait, did you
But
not jump? Are you telling me you didn't
no,
trampoline?
no, you have to watch them, man. Just wait.
Okay.
It's not just one birthday party that goes in there, right? So there's this birthday party that has 15 5-year-olds that get the place, along with 5 other birthday parties of 15 kids of random ages. So this place is packed with jumping kids. You're not going to go jumping yourself when you're trying to watch your kid from running away and starting a fire or something. Like
Just
you have to,
flying knees and flying elbows all over the place, kids
oh,
dropping left and right.
everywhere. Like it's a crazy place, but I totally understand why people don't do it in their house anymore because 15 5-year-olds is nuts. Like you can go there, you rent a room, they serve pizza, they serve cake, you leave it, they clean it. It's awesome. So I completely recommend that. Just take it off site, do it.
Do they have a
Yeah,
bar for the adults?
they should, at least not the trunk of my car, but they should have a bar in there.
Did you
Definitely.
tailgate a 5-year-old's birthday party?
Should with all the other dads just go out to the parking lot. Just lock the doors. It's
They're
okay. They're in the building.
yeah, just cracking cold ones, grilling ribs.
But I kind of want to go back there. They have adult dodgeball, like leagues. So you play dodgeball on trampolines. Like the whole ground's a trampoline, like sidewalls too. And you
That's
play
like one of those
dodgeball.
future sports.
It's yeah, and they have basketball nets like way up high, so you can jump on the trampoline. And I'm a short dude, so that looks awesome to me.
Yeah.
It's slam dunk something once in my life.
Yeah.
But it was exhausting for him and me. And then my wife was away at a girls' weekend, so I had both kids, and it was just trying to stay awake for the rest of the weekend and see if I could put them to bed early and kind of convince them to, hey, look, it's dark out. It's not winter. It's just your time for bed. So, but yeah, exhausting but good. Gaming wise, I did purchase Witcher 3 on Black Friday, which is amazing. It's so good. The detail in it is beyond anything. Like it's my dare I say it, my Final Fantasy 7 at this point. Like this is like the game that I love right now. Trevor, you love it too. It's got like a card game in it called Gwent. I don't know if you've read of it. It's Hearthstone. It's basically
I
Hearthstone.
wasn't even gonna mention Hearthstone. That's
It's
not fair.
Hearthstone in a game. It's a game within a game, and you're playing this game. But you have to go out and collect cards, and that's just a little side aspect of it, right? So, and then you're going around doing all these quests that are just everything is character driven. So you think that like a side character is well voiced and like, oh, they can't kill him because they've hired this actor to do it, and he's all properly lip synced, and he's got just the character models. And then he dies in the next scene. It's like somebody spent like 3 months creating this
So it's got
person, killed
that
him.
Game of Thrones style, like character loyalty, where it's like Game of Thrones just does not care, and it's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
we'll
just
kill them off, whatever.
whatever. That
Nobody's safe.
doesn't matter.
Nobody's safe.
So along those same lines, I mean, the thing we just mentioned, the limited dad time going into a series. You were in Witcher 1, right?
Yeah,
Did
I
you
gave
did
up.
you but did you know that you could take that leap because of reviews, or did you just assume it would get better? Like, how did you make that jump because you hated Witcher 1? That was not going well for you.
Witcher 1 had a completely, so it goes back to what we were saying, completely different battle system. So it was like a click and then dodge click, where this one's more kind of like a Batman-esque technique, where you do have to dodge, but you do have to go in, um, like you have to put certain oils on your sword. You have to use the proper sword for either monsters or humans, and then they degrade. So if you use the wrong one, it's going to degrade faster. If you don't use the right oil, it's going to degrade faster. Then you have signs, which is basically magic, and you learn all this. I learned all it in Witcher 1, but it's so well implemented in Witcher 3. So kind of taking from both the reviews and my short time with Witcher 1, it just seemed like a great world that I knew it was kind of something I wanted to get into, like
So
castles and magic.
Witcher 1, like a tutorial and like crash course in the world building, and then you're able to take what you learned in that short period of time and just apply it to their best work so far.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like the best book in a series, right? Like
Hmm.
and you can take kind of like a small tutorial on the last two and kind of get a feel for what's happening in the world, and then it kind of pushes you in like a brand new story. So it gives you the gist of the character, where he's been, what he's done, and then you make choices that affect the world completely. Like I made a bad choice one time, and then a whole community was raised. Like, note: don't let an arsonist go. Because he's like, I'll let you go, I'll pay you money, and you're like, yeah, okay. Or you could take him back, and he'll get his head chopped off. So you let him go, and he does some bad things. So note,
Wow.
but it's really cool. I am totally involved, totally invested. It's
So,
my Fallout.
good follow. So
Ooh.
speaking of games you can't play around your kids though,
Oh God,
the
no, no.
so it's like straight up rated. Well, I don't want to say R. That's probably going a little.
It's yeah. There's sex in it. There's sex, violence, all sorts of crazy stuff. Like it's a very adult. Like it's based off of a bunch of books which I have not read, but it's very adult themed. So Game of Thrones
It's a
ish.
very HBO
Yes,
experience.
yes.
Is there
So
is there swearing?
yeah,
Like,
oh yeah. Like not
really?
every other word, but some like if
Some
some towns
choice.
people are drunk and they swear off rhymes. You go past people and they're swearing at you. So um, can't play around the kids. So in order to what I justify is to deter that, I bought a pair of Sony Gold's wireless headset on Black Friday, which is 50
Ah,
bucks, which is nuts.
yeah,
Ooh,
that's a pretty good
awesome.
deal.
Surround
Okay.
sound, all in it, and the kids don't
And the
hear a thing.
wireless, like Bluetooth connection?
It comes with its own dongle that you put in, so I imagine it's
Okay.
Bluetooth-esque. I thought the PlayStation had it.
Yeah, usually there's like a unifying receiver or something. So if it's a little
Yeah,
USB one, then yeah, that's cool
so
though.
yeah, it comes with that, and
How's the battery life?
so far so good. I think some people complain that there's a little short, but my play sessions, right, max 3 hours. Like I don't think I could go more than that without sleep. So
Oh
they
yeah.
work well for dads.
Okay.
I'd recommend it.
See, I don't think
That's
I could see.
actually an interesting thing, is that like the lifespan of electronics as far as like wireless and battery life, since our gaming sessions are shorter,
Yeah,
we don't have as much of a concern in regards to like, well, I need Bluetooth headphones that are gonna last like 12 hours. It's like
yeah.
nobody should have headphones that last 12
No.
hours. Your
Yeah.
eyes will break or you're gonna get blind.
Yeah. What type of walk are you taking that's 12 hours that you need constant music for? Like, that you can't
Right?
Yeah.
possibly charge in between.
No,
Yeah.
no. It's
No.
well, it's good.
See, I almost think that's a bit of a. Sounds like it's a bit of a risk though, because you have your headset on, you're inside of the world, you have no idea what's going on, you don't hear little
Whatever.
Little Jude come outside.
Wow.
You look over, he's got this like mouth agape, seeing seeing all the wonders of the world.
He's practicing the moves in the back.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I don't know which scene you're talking about. That'd be pretty dangerous.
I still have the still. I will recommend another good tip. We had a camera monitor, so we paired them up so we can see what they're doing in their house or in their room. So versus just like the baby monitor, which has sound. Definitely recommend a video monitor when they get older because they're running around the room doing
Okay.
something and you don't know what it is, but you don't want to go up, open the door. You know what I mean? So we have the video monitor, so I can check. But
Ah.
Yeah, that was my big Black Friday purchase, which I thought was again like perfect summation of fatherhood. Now it's like Black Friday, I got the like this gaming controller, and I got these headsets, and I got this game. This is great. Like this year, it's like, yeah, I got this sick baby monitor. It's, it doesn't interfere with my Wi-Fi, and I can
yeah,
totally see my kids.
yeah,
Um, that was like, yeah, man, that's a whole thing in itself. There's like 1,000 sites that are reviewing it. There's an additional 1,000 people reviewing these things on Amazon, and no two reviews are alike whatsoever.
yeah.
So it's just really in the dark. I came close to buying it, what I think would have been cooler, but ultimately a little bit irresponsible. Is there's the Nest video camera.
Mhm.
Like the thing looks really like it.
Oh,
Yeah, it looks really cool. Like, and I love that company and the products they produce. The product looks great. Some people said it works pretty well as a monitor, but like ultimately, like because it's not built for that, right? Like that's not the one thing it's supposed to do. And there's some sort of comfort that comes with the thought that this item is made to monitor babies, and that's the thing it does. So like, if there's one thing it'll do well, whereas like Nest can also do that. Like it's why don't we get something that is custom built for this purpose of child watching? So about to enjoy the. I don't know why we have it. I mean, like, he's up every hour, so like I know what he's doing. He's either awake or preparing to be awake.
Right.
yeah. So we just have the audio one. This has been working great. And what's nice about the audio one, it's the one we have has like a little loop at the top, and you can hook a carabiner to it. So when we're visiting people and like we were at my wife's parents' place, so we had the daughter up in the one bedroom sleeping, and we had the baby monitor there, and I had a carabiner with like the walkie-talkie attached to my hip. So it let me kind of have the sound with me. Like I couldn't do that with a video one, but with the audio one, it was nice because I mean right now like she's so just not moving yet. Like she's flails, but that's about
Yeah.
it. That all we really need is the sound. But yeah, Jeff, you make a good point about knowing what's going on without being in the room
Yeah.
and getting their attention and having them think it's playtime.
Yeah,
It's just
when they're a little older, like when they're young, like yours is young. So we had the audio one with the heartbeat one, like the
okay.
heartbeat pad,
That's
and
cool.
then
Yeah,
when
we
he was
have
kind
the
of
sleep
older.
sheet
Pardon?
one. We have the sleep sheet for the
Oh,
heartbeat
okay,
sound.
yeah.
Yeah,
But when they
that
start
one's cool.
moving around, right?
Yeah, when they
Um,
can climb out of the crib, that's when we can. When they
So
climb out of the cage on their own, then we'll
yeah,
get the video.
yeah, so let me pitch an app idea for you. So on your PlayStation, picture in picture,
there you go.
and in the top left at all times is just the baby monitor. And
Yeah.
then if he wakes up, everything in your game gets like 20 times harder. So if you don't take care of your baby, you're gonna die in
Yeah.
game. So you best go take care of it.
It disables the save function, so you have to like choose between the game and your living, breathing child.
That
It
sounds
has
oh that's
like a taxation thing where like if your baby wakes up or if your baby isn't like seen to immediately, then it will take like 20% of your character's financial wealth and just delete.
And just decrease it like every second.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like every 10 seconds you delay in responding to your child's cry, it just chips away 20% of your net worth.
This is an
Figure
awful
out.
app.
It's a
it
horrible
started
app.
out so innocently. It's such a great idea.
No.
It's degraded quickly.
Yeah.
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 What about you, Trevor? How's your week in fatherhood and gaming?
Yeah, so the ultimate struggle in that he's not sleeping. Unfortunately, the poor little guy's been sick for the last couple of days, so it's been especially hard. And we were just about to implement some sleep training, and the two of them unfortunately kind of overlapped, which was particularly disastrous.
Hmm.
But because you're not supposed to do the sleep training when they're sick, but we didn't
Yeah.
quite catch them, and then so it has been miserable that way. Uh, he's amazing though, because 6 months, he's sitting up on his own now, or like almost up on his own. His reaction, his ability to focus and try to grab stuff, like it's so endearing. Although I mean, just everything about the sleep is hilarious. Like he still has that habit of trying to wake up or trying to wakes up in the middle of the night, say about 4 o'clock, and is just up for an hour or two. And one of those points, I was able to get him to sleep, and he's on my shoulder bouncing. Now at this point, I'm at the other end of the house, and now I have to Indiana Jones style, like dodge and weave through toys and like clothing and everything else that's on the floor, avoid every creaky crack in my flooring as well to get to the other side of the room. Just so I can try to put him down again, Indiana Jones style with the the gold statue.
You should go through your floor and take like painter's tape and put little X's on the floor
Yeah.
wherever there's a
Marking.
creek,
Oh
so
man,
that you like you know
I got it down packed now. Like I know
you know it
exactly.
now.
Oh,
You've
I'm so
memorized the pattern.
no, but like, I just remember the thought. It was again. It's like 4:30 in the morning. I'm exhausted. I'm on the other side of the house, and he drops, and I'm looking at what now seems like the longest distance I've ever seen in my life to the
They
bedroom.
do that camera trick. There's that camera trick where like the camera moves out but zooms in at the same time and it
Yeah,
like
yeah.
elongates the hall. Which is like
Oh, so much. So, but you know what? It's just it is what it is. Small little steps, and he's doing great. He's I think we're gonna get to the point now where we do the training. We'll wait till he's feeling better,
yeah, yeah.
and you know,
Little guy's got enough on his plate, so
yeah, and he'll pick it up. Gaming wise, it's funny because in within all those sessions where I had to just be with him, trying to soothe him or calm him, or just play with him because he has too much energy. I was trying to find something that I could watch that lots of lights and colors that he might kind of enjoy as well. And I ended up on Star Wars. Droid. It's the animated one with the droids.
like
Computer.
the old animation.
No,
Yeah.
the current and new one.
Like the Clone Wars or whatever?
Clone Wars. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
So that's great. Like great series, a lot of fun. Like bright lights, like cool characters. Was really enjoying it. But what's funny about it was I'm watching these characters zip around in space and go around their ships, like do these big attacks, and I got this like huge yearning to go back and play Elite Dangerous.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so in watching all these space battles, it was just like, oh, I need to go hop in my spaceship again. I haven't been there for quite some time.
Yep.
Did
I'll have to
you?
go-
Did you?
And
Did you end up doing
oh
it?
yeah, no, I
Yeah.
played a couple sessions of it. It was amazing. It was great. It's tricky with that one because they just released a expansion, and I have to triple check the price, but I'm pretty sure it's up there. It's somewhere between $30 and $60 for an expansion. Now this
Yeah.
really is a second game, but yeah, I don't know. It's like
You do need the original game though. Like you do need
yeah,
the primary. Yeah.
It's not like a standalone.
Yeah.
yeah, and I think I have enough stuff to play through, and just even some backlog that like I think I'll wait for some sort of sale on it because
Yeah.
it looks kind of great. Doesn't look great enough. One of the problems with that game was density.
Mm.
That someone put it great that it has incredible width but not a lot of density in a sense that the galaxy is massive. There's so many stars, there's so many planets to see, but ultimately like when you're getting into missions, it's like take this here, kill this
Yeah.
guy, go and collect this. Like very very shallow in that respect. So, and this expansion doesn't seem to solve a lot of it. I think they will, but I
So
think
the expansion just expands in the one measurement that they were already good with,
yeah,
but doesn't expand in the other dimension that they needed a little bit more.
like it sounded so cool in the sense that you can now land on planets. They had this whole
Okay.
universe and you couldn't get on planets, and now you
Yeah.
can. You can totally just land on a planet, and they have bases, they have like shipwrecks, a bunch of things like that. However, it mostly just looks like kind of boring desert.
Yeah.
There's no real variety to them. Like it's not like you get a jungle world, you get a water world. It's like
Have you
literally
ever played X3?
no, never.
The X series was another space sim series before Elite Dangerous. And X3, it was pretty deep. Like you could um, do anything from become like a mercenary to you could build your own factories and then take alien technology and reverse engineer it to then
Hmm.
manufacture in your factories and then have that intersect with the economy in the game to make you more money. Yeah, it was a huge game. I dumped a few hours in it and I barely even scratched the enamel coating. It was really good, but it almost wore me out for space sims. That one and the other space sim I fell in love with a long time ago was called Freelancer,
Yep.
and that one was fantastic. It was just
Hmm.
you would have a ship, and you could sell your ship and get new ships depending on what jobs you wanted. So if you're like a space trucker, you could get a ship that was based on like just hauling cargo, and you just cover it in turrets so the pirates won't stand a chance. Um, and they had like this highway system that you could use that would take you from different starports, but you could jump off of it at any time to just explore like nebulas to try to find like shipwrecks and stuff. And I remember the end battle took place inside of a Dyson sphere, and a Dyson sphere is
The,
essentially
the vacuum. Sorry, just like
no,
what?
no, it's this
Sponsored by.
Sponsored by Dyson.
sponsored by Dyson. It's a concept of building. It's essentially a star within the surface of a planet, like an artificial planet built around a star. So it maximizes the planet's ability to absorb UV radiation. So basically, it was a giant space station built around a sun, and you're fighting inside between the crust of the surface of the inverse planet and the sun, and you're fighting like all these robots. It was so nuts. It was awesome.
Wow,
Yeah, that was a really good space sim.
that sounds
But
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, you're talking about space sim so much, and I just had this flood of like, oh
sounds.
man, I remember the dogfight. That was so good.
See, that's kind of that is my biggest problem with the expansion is that and I'll say a lot of it honestly. I still really enjoy the game. It's got a bunch of those elements. You can pirate people. You can do nothing but trading. You
Hmm.
can do nothing but missions. You can get ranks within armies. I'll say like
Okay.
a lot of it seems to be community. There's community goals where you participate with thousands of other people, and if you succeed, this um, one person will get more power within a certain sector. There's all these great little parts of it. What's nice in how they've done it, what makes it kind of dad friendly, is they've segmented it. They actually have what they call like solo mode. You don't have to be in the galaxy with everybody else.
Okay.
And however, what they do still affects your galaxy. So it's not like you're just completely on your own. Like all
You're
the
not quarantined, but you don't have to compete like you would with like an MMO or with like Destiny
Yeah.
kind of style where you have to really participate.
Absolutely. So it's great because sometimes if you just want to be left alone and trade and only deal with like AI and not be overtaken by the galaxy's worst human pirate, you totally. So in that sense, it's actually very friendly. What's challenging is you mentioned a bunch of sims, space sims. One of the more exciting ones that's coming out is No Man's Sky, and that's
Eventually. Coming out
eventually
eventually.
theoretically,
I'm
and
fine with that. I'm patient.
that's the price of No Man's Sky, roughly. I think like
Yeah.
let's say it's of the higher ones where it's $60, and it's like, is this expansion better than the entire game that is No Man's Sky? And the density within No Man's Sky like looks like unbelievable. Like that
Yeah.
game
Yeah.
looks.
It's an insurmountable amount of exploration.
And you could
And
land on the
that's
planets, right? Like that's
yeah.
Yeah,
you
and
can't do that.
there's animals and
And
there's
like
and
it
there's so much
equates with
variance.
its yeah, it's you can be a space jerk or you just go around naming planets. Um,
We know what Gavin would play, right?
Yeah, yeah. Old Fallout habits dying
Kidding.
hard, eh, Gavin?
like I want to land on a planet and name a space dinosaur. Like that's I've always wanted to do that ever since I was a kid. It's like they found my diary and read it, and they're like, "Let's make a game." Like it's so amazing. That's why it's like it. You know what? Developers release it when it's ready. You guys take your time. Your team can do what they need to do. Just get this right, because my goodness, does it ever look fun?
25 years later, old man Gavin's in his rocker, like
It'll
yes.
be my daughter goes off to college, and it's like a gift to myself. It's like they'll coincide.
So so a couple games of Fallout otherwise here and there, but they had a free sale on iOS where there was Monument Valley was available for free download today. I'm kind of curious to check that one out. That got a lot of acclaim. Heard that was quite an interesting one.
That game's supposed to be fantastic. So
Yeah, so I'm
House
gonna
of
give that a
Cards,
spin.
right?
Hmm?
He was in House of Cards.
oh
It was like the
yeah,
big like
Okay.
spike in their sales because Kevin Spacey was playing it. House of Cards.
So all we need to do for this podcast then is somehow get
Right.
it mentioned
There you
yeah.
go.
in House of Cards.
Exactly.
We'll get on it. I did get a couple Black Friday sales. We got a high chair, but I think that I'm not sure if that was a Black Friday sale or just a normal sale because I got it actually yesterday. But these sales last like 2 weeks now, so I don't whatever. We save money on a high chair, so awesome. I got a winter coat because I need one because it's cold out. I got to scrape the car now. And as far as games go, I picked up The Order.
Oh, yeah.
That PS4
okay.
exclusive one. It was on for a very reasonable price. It got a lot of flack for being kind of just an interactive movie, but I don't mind that. It looks really pretty. There's werewolves and steampunk, so all right. And it was on for a good price, so it's like I'd pay to go see that movie without even being able to interact with it. So if I get to play with it too, then that's awesome. And I picked up the Wolfenstein standalone expansion, The Old Blood,
Old Blood, yeah.
because Wolfenstein: The New Order was so good. It was so much fun. So I obviously picked that up because I had to. I'm looking forward to playing it because crazy retro speculative science fiction super Nazis are so much fun to shoot with a shotgun, and yeah.
So far, we have planet space dinosaurs and
Yep.
super cyber Nazis.
And nuclear fallout.
Yeah.
Crazy
And,
island
80s
dictatorship
action
flying. Yeah,
movie, yeah. I'm a man of many tastes.
we got some.
I also like port wine and aged cheddar,
And Bud Light Lime.
and Bud Light Lime. You know, there's a flavor for every mood.
Jeez, I'll say the really out of left field. The one thing that had consumed me quite a bit was there was a Canadian whiskey that had received quite a bit of acclaim. So Crown Royal, which is not known to be, that's kind of like a starter whiskey and more predominantly what you add to Coke as opposed to anything
Yeah,
that
it's
you
like a
would.
mid-bar rye. Like it's the
Yeah.
kind of rye that you're like, this is a great mixing rye, and it's all right on ice too. but you usually want it with some Coke.
Yeah, you're gonna want some Coke in there, and all of a sudden, like, there's all these articles where it's like, oh, like it world champion like mentions how amazing it is, like it's #1 in this whiskey book from this guy. It's and immediately in Toronto it flies off the shelf, like classic Toronto style. Like this is now a fad. This is huge. Doesn't exist anymore. Just gone at the distribution level. So
one hipster read about it on a blog, and it just went nuts.
And off it went. So what was great is so for my parents live up in Midland, which is past Barrie.
That's how you did it.
Yeah. So for non-Ontarians,
Wow, that's a distance.
go to Toronto and go much north, and up there they just happen to have a bunch of bottles. So my dad got one for himself. They picked one up for me, and I was able to try it, and it is whiskey. I can confirm it tastes like whiskey.
Wouldn't it have been like just a total shocker if you took a sip and you're like, "This is rum.
Yeah. Oh,
This is totally rum."
Isn't this vodka? Like, I don't know. I'm no whiskey expert, but does this have Coke pre-mixed in it? I don't
this is
understand.
watered down. This is watered down.
But
I'm no
yeah.
Scotch expert, but I'm pretty sure this is Zima.
So I started the notes that after the little one goes down, I've now taken to having a glass of like whiskey or Scotch, which seems wonderfully adult, if not dangerously. I don't want to say alcoholic, but could lead down. It's a great. What is it now? Like a reward? Congratulations!
Yes,
Time to
yeah, it
souse
is.
yourself because
Yeah.
the baby's asleep.
That's why alcohol was invented.
Trevor, you're
Kids.
allowed a nightcap as long as it's not at like 10 a.m.
Well,
Like,
you stayed up all night.
yeah. Well, whatever
Yeah.
night it is.
Well, there's
Maybe
one.
that's your day.
So, against what's lousy about Ontario is they have a pretty draconian attitude towards alcohol, which is like it's either let people sell it or ban it. Don't like fiddle about. Most specifically, there's really cool things.
About?
I'm
Fiddle
sorry,
about?
you
Did I
said
say-
that in the most Canadian way. Wow.
What
So
exists?
fiddle about.
So a thing that exists is called the Advent Calendar of Beer. They sell it in a couple other provinces. I think in places in the States you can get it. Basically, it's a different beer for every day of Christmas instead of chocolate ones. And I was on the fence. I was like, I'd love to head out and buy, like, I'll put one together for myself or get recommendations from friends, like tell me which beers to put up, and I might still do it in some ways. But then the thought arose that like I'm gonna have, no matter how tired I am, to keep up with this, no matter how tired I am, no matter how bad the night's gonna be, I'm gonna have to go through a beer. Otherwise, I'll just have this like stack of like 14 beers I gotta catch up on at all times.
I've done it.
Backlog of video games is one thing, but a backlog of alcohol is
Yeah, you know what?
another thing.
It's like, so I was like, it sounds like such an amazing idea that I'm just thinking some of the nights I've had, and it's like, it is not Miller time tonight, and I don't know if I could put myself through it, especially because these are going to be, especially if I ask for friends' recommendations, these are not going to be easy beers.
No.
Right? There's going to be some in there that I hate, or like I just don't want to drink, and like non-sessionable, if you want to call it that, and the thought that I'm going to have to force myself to go through, like, wonderful first world problem, I know, but like force myself to go through a beer when I'm not in the mood. I don't know if I can, basically, I don't know if I'm in, as a new dad, I don't know that I'm in a place where I can survive an advent calendar beer, but I want to.
Just wait a little bit. Probably give yourself another year, because my wife went out and bought a beer advent calendar, but she built it herself, right? So it's all tall boys, number
That's
one.
impressive.
Oh boy.
Tall boys, and then just 24 different beers, which was amazing to test out which ones you did like that you would never try, and then which ones you hate and would never try. So I kept notes on each of them in my phone. So when I go to the beer store now, or LCBO, I can pick up what I want without having to guess, right? But yes, it's almost like you're getting yourself addicted. Because you have to drink it. Otherwise, you have to drink a week's worth in a day. And that's,
And that's like day 26 when there's no beer. You're like, huh.
Yeah.
Something's
I'm
missing.
really thirsty. I'm not sleeping.
Well, that's what we should do then for the podcast is a beer review.
Yeah. Start it
Okay.
right now.
I'd be down for at least that, where we each choose a beer for each other that we have to try. End of the show, you've been drinking it the whole time.
Yeah.
You give a quick summation of like, it's like, well, this is absolute garbage. I hate you, Gavin.
Well, you automatically assume I'm gonna pick the bad one.
Just seems like spite. Like you just be watching my face with glee as I'm sitting there, like just like squinting and like, oh, what is this?
Here's a coffee infused.
Just for that, Jeff and I are going
That's it.
we're going to recommend, like, I'll recommend one, but Jeff and I will be drinking something entirely different.
Like it's like, as you know, most things with numbers are the classiest. So I'm going to go ahead and get you to buy Colt 45.
Yeah.
This is 45 times better than everything else.
Rule 1: you have to finish it before the podcast ends too.
Oh boy, jeez, now we're getting dangerous.
Now we're getting crazy.
Yeah.
So let's bring this to a close. Gavin, did you want to toss us the weekly new dad tip for the week?
Sure. It's actually something my wife discovered. Babies dig music, especially like our daughter does, especially. Something as simple as she loves Itsy Bitsy Spider, and she can tell that song apart from the other nursery rhymes. I'm not sure why she digs it more, but she loves Itsy Bitsy Spider, so, that's a good one. But the best thing is a dance party, where we will set up an iPod on like a docking station or whatnot. And my wife put together a little playlist of all sorts of fun songs, and we just put those on, and we dance with her in our arms, and that tends to calm her down very quickly. And at times we even use it to get her down for a nap. So if your baby's fussy or you're having trouble getting her down for a nap, put on some music and dance with them. And the dancing is very similar to like the rocking and the bobbing, and that, yeah, it works for our daughter. I know every baby's their own special Rubik's Cube that you have to figure out, but some have some happy correlations to other babies. So it's worth a shot if you're definitely looking for something to try to get that baby calm. Try dancing with them with some music, and that's been working really well for us.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on that one a bit from my previous tip, where have screens available wherever you are. I mean, YouTube is an incredible source of a bunch of songs, and there's people who have blessedly put together like 2-hour-long compilations of nothing but nursery rhymes or calming sounds. So in any particular room that I have, especially where there's a smart TV with YouTube,
You got that queued up, ready to go.
yeah, just like tap, 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 and next thing you know, it's 2 hours straight of nothing but lullabies. Like it,
You should just have like a big red button in the center of the room that you just slam your fist on.
big
And it
panic
just
button,
loads
like
it up.
yeah.
Help! Bang!
Tell you what, we'll produce that, and we'll produce the app for the picture-in-picture with the baby monitor of the game. We are new dads are on a roll.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure which one's gonna sell.
We'll see. Everyone, that wraps it up for this week. We do this podcast weekly. If you have any questions, thoughts, or suggestions on the show, please visit us at our website, newdadgaming.com. You can subscribe to us on iTunes or any other podcast feed. Yeah, look for us each week. Watch our slow descent in the madness and
Slow.
slow. Yeah, it's only been 6 months.
I got a brick on the gas pedal, man. I'm gone.
But as always, we do appreciate it. Again, that's newdadgaming.com. As always, I'm Trevor, and I have a 6-month-old.
I'm Gavin. I have a almost 4-month-old.
I'm Jeff. I have a 2.5 and a 5-year-old.
And perhaps some other ones, we're not sure.
Possibly not. No.
He brought home 3 from the trampoline place by accident.
Yeah.
Hey,
I guess
man,
I got-
static cling.
Guess I gotta feed him. I don't know.
Guess I'll take care of you. Whatever.
My son accidentally drop kicked you, so I guess I'll give you cake.
That almost did happen. So yes.
That's that terrible merger of your kids' karate classes and trampoline.
Oh yes. Yeah. Yeah. No. Trying to do jump kicks off trampolines. That's great for a 5-year-old.
Yeah, that's a twisted ankle waiting to happen, because that's how I twisted mine.
Oh, is it? Oh, great.
Yeah, one of those those kick over clown things with the weight on the bottom, you blow it up.
Yeah.
I jumped off my bed and tried to do a drop kick on it, and I landed on a toy for this what was it, Mask? Remember Mask?
Oh
It
yeah,
was like
yeah,
a
yeah.
Transformers knockoff series. Anyways, I landed on a big van toy from it and twisted my ankle
Awesome.
like a week before going to Wonderland. So that sucked.
Yeah, the
So drop kicks and
Drop kicks.
spring don't match up too good. Don't do it, kids.
stay in school, kids.
Stay in school.
Good. We'll see you next week, guys.
See ya.
Bye.